Welcome to the depths of darkness, my children. This is Mr. Midnight speaking, and I welcome you all to my twisted domain. Today, we will journey into the realm of terrifying trains. But before we do, beware for those who do not like and subscribe. They will be forever haunted by the demons of my creation. Brace yourselves and remember, the darkness always follows.
Charlie the Choo is a children's book written by Brill Evans and illustrated by Ned Demeron. The story is about a magical train named Charlie, who along with his human friends, Engineer Bob and Conductor Annie, take children on adventures through the magical world inside the train. The story starts with Engineer Bob and Conductor Annie working on the train, and Charlie the Choo train, being a magical train, comes to life and starts speaking to them. They are surprised at first, but quickly become friends with Charlie. Charlie even has a special song. Don't ask me silly questions, I won't play silly games. I'm just a simple choo-choo train and I'll always be the same. I only want to race along beneath the bright blue sky and be a happy choo-choo train until the day I die. As the story progresses, Engineer Bob and Conductor Annie take the children on a journey through the magical world inside the train. They pass through a dark tunnel while Charlie has to use his bright headlights to guide them through. They also pass through a snowy mountain where Charlie has to use his powerful engine to push through the heavy snow. Along the way, they meet interesting characters such as a friendly talking steam engine and a grumpy old diesel engine. Charlie also shows them different places and things such as going through a forest, passing a waterfall, and even taking them on a trip to the moon. The children have a great time and the journey is filled with fun and adventure. As they continue on their journey, they come across a broken bridge and Engineer Bob and Conductor Annie are worried they won't be able to make it across. But Charlie, being the determined and resourceful train that he is, comes up with a plan to safely cross the bridge using his own strength and the help of his friends. With teamwork and determination, they are able to overcome this obstacle and reach their destination safely. However, towards the end of the story, it is revealed that the train station where they work is being modernized and the new management plans to replace Charlie with a newer, more advanced train. This news is devastating for Engineer Bob and Conductor Annie, who have grown to love Charlie as a friend and companion. They come up with a plan to save Charlie and make sure that he is not replaced. They work hard to fix up Charlie, making him look brand new and more advanced than ever before. They also show the new management all the wonderful things Charlie can do, such as talking and taking children on magical adventures. Eventually, their efforts pay off and the new management decide to keep Charlie as the main train at the station. The book has a strong message about friendship, teamwork, and the power of imagination. It is a fun, imaginative, and adventure story that children will enjoy. However, there is a dark twist to the story. The author Brill Evans is basically a pseudonym adopted by Stephen King, and this has a direct link to the Dark Towers, and much of the Choo Charlie is actually taken from the Dark Tower universe. Brill Evans is plunked from the page of the series, and while Charlie himself is in a fixture of the universe, a real train named Blaine the Mono, which shares many of Charlie's characteristics, exists in the world of the Dark Tower. Now this is why there's a game called Choo Choo Charles, And this game was actually inspired by Stephen King's The Charlie's Choo and the link between the Dark Tower. In this game that was inspired by this children's story, in this game the player is summoned by Eugene, who summons the player, who is a monster hunter, to deal with the half-trained, half-giga spider Charles. Charles at the start attacks them and kills Eugene, but not before Eugene tells the player to find Charles' eggs. Once he finds those eggs, he can summon Charles and fight him. Eugene's son Paul and the inhabitants of the island have formulated a plan to defeat Charles, but they need the player to execute it. The player is let loose on the island with a train mounted with a machine gun, with the goal of traversing the island to meet with various non-player characters. These characters give the player keys to the mines where Charles' glowing eggs are located, scraps with which to upgrade the train, and weapons like a flamethrower, rocket launcher, and anti-tank cannon to better fend off Charles. The player also comes into contact with cultists led by Warren Charles III, who plan on using Charles for world domination. The player also learns that Warren is responsible for causing Charles' awakening, having owned a mining company that dug too deep. After collecting all 3 eggs, the player summons Charles, who transforms into Hell Charles and kills Warren before attacking the player. After a grueling battle, the player successfully lures Charles onto a bridge that they and Paul rigged with explosives and detonates it, sending Charles plummeting face first onto a large metal pole, instantly killing him. However, in a post-credit scene, it is revealed that Charles has multiple eggs hiding in the cavern, indicating his return. Choo Charles was developed by Gavin Eisenbiers on his own using Unreal Engine. He recorded the development process in blogs on YouTube. The Choo train, like I said, was inspired by Charlie the Choo, a 2016 children's book written by Stephen King as part of the Dark Tower series, as well as Thomas the Tank Engine. As you can see, there is a link between Charlie the Choo and Choo Charles. They both are the same thing, as the game was inspired by the book, and the book is not as innocent as it seems, as it is Stephen King who wrote this book. So as you know, everything is linked to his dark, twisted realm. So now that you know the origin of Charles, who was an engine, happy, smiling, but turned evil, that is the story. And that is a secret of Choo Charles that you probably did not know.
Well, my unsuspecting children, I thank you all for listening. I hope you're all shaking with fear, because that's the taste I crave. The taste of your terror is like a delicacy to me. And always remember, the darkness is always lurking, and the darkness always follows.